Wicked Metal Reviews.
Alright, Shadow of Mordor, or Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor. This game came out on September 30th, 2014, in case you forgot what year it is, and was developed by Monolith Studios and published by Warner Brothers. So, I guess I'll talk about the setting. This game is set, well, of course, in Mordor, if you know anything about Lord of the Rings lore of Middle-earth, and it takes place between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. So, you know, that's always pretty cool. But you play as a ranger named Talion, whom you're killed by the Black Hand of Sauron, and you eventually get attached to a wraith, and you gain wraith powers, and so your plan is to exact revenge on the Black Hand of Sauron. And that's basically the story of the game without giving away a lot. Gameplay-wise, this game plays a lot like Batman or Assassin's Creed. You know, with basically mashing the square button, occasionally hitting the counter button, but there are a couple differences. For one thing, at least in this game, I feel the counter system is a lot less forgiving. You have a lot, whereas you had a lot of time in, you know, the Batman games to hit the button. It's really easy to mess up some of the counters, and if you start to get hit a lot, you'll go down, in which then if you don't have the special ability to defend yourself when you go down, then you're screwed. But the other things that this game does really well is the stealth. The stealth is your run-of-the-mill stealth, but I think it works because there's a lot of things you can do. You could just go for a straight stealth kill, which, you know, there's air assassinations, I guess is what I'll call them. Ledge grabs, you know, sneak up behind somebody and stab them. Each kill is equally brutal. And then there's the brutalize option, which is you basically, like, slash a guy 5 times, and it'll draw attention to you, but depending on the runes that you have, that could also cause enemies to flee, because, oh no, this guy's a badass, and so they run away. Upgrade-wise, there's a skill tree that you get. A lot of skills you have to upgrade by playing story missions and side quests, or power struggles, like you have to do certain things. And then you also have runes, which you add to your weapons. You know, runes, just, you know, oh, you have a chance of getting more bow shot from a kill if you stealth kill somebody. In which the bow is really fun. You pull out the bow, and you basically have, I think, 3 options with it. You can charge the shot, which, if you hit them in the head, is a one-hit kill. Or you can do a, what's it called? Shadow Strike, which is basically you kind of become the arrow, you shoot out at the guy you're hitting with, and you can either strike them and do a lot of damage, or you'll kill them. And it's like a nice way if, like, there's a pesky archer up on top of a tower, you can just shoot it at him with a Shadow Strike, and then you'll take him out in one hit. And then the part of this game that I think attracted the attention of a lot of people is the Brand ability, which is the ability to bend the orcs of Mordor to your will, which can be as simple as branding berserkers or archers so that when you get into a fight, they help you. To branding Caragors, which are kind of like wargs in a way, or Graugs, so that you can ride them. Or the very epic thing, which is to brand captains, have them, you know, assassinate a war chief, or attempt to assassinate a war chief, and then have them become war chief, and so you control a section of the orc army. Like, that's cool. Like, that's the best part about this game. And I think the other good thing about that is that you build up to it. You don't just get brand right off the bat. Like, the first half of the game, you have to be able to go through it without using brand. Let's see. And then, some of the other abilities, you know, like I said, there's mounted combat. And then, the entire Nemesis system is amazing. The captains, the leadership roles and of the orcs are constantly changing. People will get promoted. If they kill you, they go up a level in power. If they perform a task like they do a recruitment mission, a feast, an ambush, or a duel, they'll go up in power. Or like I said, if they kill you, or if they happen to overtake another captain, they'll gain in power. In which I think the highest level I'd ever gotten somebody was a level 20 guy, and he was just a pain to kill because he was basically invulnerable to just about everything except for normal attacks and combat finishers. So that just made it really difficult to deal with him. So it's really good to not mess up the first couple times you take on people. But this game, the world is constantly changing. Like I said, each orc has a different personality. If you burn a guy, he will get really, really pissed off at he'll remember that you burned him, and that'll be part of his dialogue when he comes back, and his appearance will be different. A lot of times, if you kill a guy, he may come back, but his face will be all mangled, and he'll be like, "Oh, you thought you killed me? Well, I'm back in time to settle the score." And so, so a lot of times people won't die outright. It takes a long time. Like the guy that was level 20, I think I actually ended up having to beat him 5 times and kill him 5 times before he actually died. But this game, like I said, if you like Batman, this game is really, really fun. The setting, it's in northern and the first part of the game takes place on the border with Gondor, and the second part of the game takes place on the southern shores of Mordor. And Mordor isn't the desolate place you see in Lord of the Rings. It's actually green in the one area. There's plant life. But there are a lot of orcs around. Like, there's probably even a lot more people walking around than Batman. In which you kind of have to analyze every situation. Going after a captain, he just has, a couple people surrounding him, that's okay. But then I've had times where I've had 4 or 5 other captains show up. And then you have to fight all 4 or 5 at the same time. And it's like, and if you don't kill them outright, they'll retreat. And so it's like, but then you have the other captains to deal with, not to mention berserkers, archers, shield guys. It just becomes a pain after a while. But it makes it fun. And every enemy has weaknesses. Some people are afraid of Caragors. So, they'll immediately stop fighting at the sight of a Caragor. Or they hate Caragors, so they'll become a lot tougher to kill when there's Caragors. So that just makes it an additional dynamic to the game. I have mainly only 3 complaints to the game. One is that the story is okay. I really love the lore of Middle-earth and Lord of the Rings and everything involved with J.R.R. Tolkien. So the story I like. I like the story. But if you were just from wanting a game to play, the story isn't the most in-depth thing that you'll play. The story, because there's always 4 or 5 story missions going on at the same time, it's hard to find a semblance of connectivity to the missions. Number 2, I don't think that enemies should be able to interrupt you while you're trying to dominate another person, which, you can dominate a captain, and you can either send him to assassinate another captain, you can get intel from him on a captain, you can just kill him, or you can issue a death threat, and it's like, I'm going to kill you, and then if you kill this captain, you get more XP for killing him. But, enemies can interrupt that. You can get shot by an arrow, and it's like, nope! You can be almost to the point where you can have him send him on an assassination mission, and it's just like, nope, sorry, you can't do that. And so that kind of pisses me off. And then, the only other thing that I think I don't like about the game is how easy some of the trophies are. Some of the trophies are just they're just ridiculously easy. There's the 2 trophies that come to mind are Power Vacuum and I forget the other one, but Power Vacuum is to basically kill all the war chiefs, in which there's 5 war chiefs per area, and then not have anybody succeed them. In which, like, minor spoiler, part of this campaign you have to kill the 5 war chiefs, and so it's like, okay, but then just because if you don't do anything else and you just kill the 5 war chiefs, you'll get the trophy, and I'm just like, it should be a little bit harder than that. Like, maybe not have that, maybe have it, you have to do it outside of the mission. And it's the same thing with the other one, is that you have to brand and kill all 5 war chiefs. But when you get to the second half of the story, you have to go and brand all the war chiefs. So I'm just like, I don't know. I wish some of the achievements like that were a lot harder. There isn't that one achievement that I'm like, wow, I'm going to have to work really, really hard to get this. It's just not there. But all in all, this is a really fun game. I can't stop playing this game. There's so much that even as am nearing like the last mission or two of the game that I can't, that there's still so much that I haven't done in terms of resistance missions, which is helping out slaves, weapon missions, which I think is for getting upgrades for your weapons. You know, just involving yourself in power struggles. You know, finding artifacts. If you like going around and finding chests in Assassin's Creed or finding Riddler trophies in Batman, you can do that a lot in this game. So if you're looking for a game to hold you over until like Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed comes out, this is a good game to get, I would say. This is definitely worth the buy. The only thing that I would throw out there is that, without naming any names, I feel like some of the reviews of this game are a little too generous. Don't get me wrong, like I said, this is a fantastic game. But I think some of these high-rated reviews where this game is getting a 9 out of 10 is because of how Destiny went. And I don't mean to try to bring Destiny back into this, but like because people were so disappointed in Destiny, I think people were looking for just a game to do good, and they're just like, oh, it's great. You know, yes, the story doesn't do anything for you, but Destiny, the story didn't do anything for you, and you trash talk that game, yet you praise this game. You know, I don't agree with that. But if I had to give this game a solid score, I would give this game I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. This is definitely worth the buy. It is a fun game. It takes advantage of the next-gen stuff, which, I mean, I forgot, which I'll mention really quickly. It is the only third-party game that I've played on the PS4 that takes advantage of the microphone and the controller. Like, I'm surprised a lot more people don't do that, but it's like, it's taking advantage of stuff like that, and the Nemesis system. I feel like we're finally starting to see truly a next-gen game. This isn't a next-gen game quite yet, but this is the first good step towards next-gen, I think. So, yeah, definitely pick up Shadow of Mordor. It's a fun game, and, yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.